Yeah, I think, look, the potential is there. And again, I don't deal in certainties, but I think this is a high probability event. And a high probability event for such an enormous call, I'm talking about, a 60% chance of this happening. Well, interesting enough, it's not the US that's lent it to them. So this is the magic of the Eurodollar market. Now, don't confuse this with Eurodollar, the exchange rate. This is the Eurodollar interest rate futures, the interest rate markets, which are the offshore dollar lending markets. So a bank like Deutsche Bank or HSBC or UBS or credit can create dollars in the system via the Eurodollar markets. And that is the problem. So it ends up on these banks' balance sheets. That's where the lending issue lies. Now, they may repackage it and sell it to insurance companies or pension companies.
Sure.
It's not clear, but it's the foreign banks and their counterparts with the corporations. Now, the issue is the Fed issues swap lines to many of these countries. That's okay. So you give it to Europe, the Europeans take the swap lines, which is basically a short-term loan, and they lend it to their banks. The bank's like, thank God for that. Couldn't get any dollars. We needed that. But just the fact that they go, thank you, means they're not going to lend it to you. They will only lend to their best creditor because they need the money as well. So what happens is the marginal creditor starts falling by the wayside, and that whole mechanism feeds on itself.
And this is essentially the beginning of what you've called the biggest insolvency in recorded history.
Yeah, I think, look, the potential is there. And again, I don't deal in certainties, but I think this is a high probability event. And a high probability event for such an enormous call, I'm talking about, 60% chance of this happening. So it's my favored probability that we're going to go into a big solvency event. How that plays out, that we don't know yet.
Got it. So how are you positioned then, Raoul? If this is in your periphery on the horizon, what does your portfolio look like right now?
So at top-down macro level, my personal portfolio is 25% gold, 25% Bitcoin, 25% cash in the bank, and 25% trading opportunities. And then within my trading opportunities, most of my bets are long bonds, long US dollars, and long gold miners, stuff like that. So it's very concentrated in these kind of themes. I'm not short equities yet, but I'm looking to start shorting the big indebted US companies, General Electrics and the AT&Ts and that kind of stuff.
Okay, now why such a massive bet on Bitcoin?
Because, and again, that's my liquid, available investment money, right? So that's not total net worth, because 25% total net worth is a lot, unless you happen to be very early and you've kept it all the way through. Then some people end up with huge numbers like that. Bitcoin, it's very simple. The dollar standard is going to break the system. The dollar has eaten all of its competitors, and now it's going to eat itself by going up too high. There's almost no way of stopping it. And all the central banks have talked about it. They know it. And they know that they want to move to digital currencies and create a new way of moving currency around the system. It doesn't necessarily just involve the US at the center of it, the infrastructure at the center of it, and all the current market dynamics and structures that we have. There's a number of other things you can do when you move to that, is you can create these very efficient digital baskets. So like Libra, which is the Facebook idea. But anyway, we are moving towards a digital currency world. Bitcoin acts like the gold, the collateral, the personal reserve asset that everybody needs. It's kind of the truth in the digital world, while gold is the truth in the currency world. Doesn't necessarily make Bitcoin a currency, but it makes us extraordinarily valuable store of value. And also, as that entire space grows, as we move into decentralized finance, we move into tokenization, we move into the full digital realm, the Internet 3.0, well, the poster child, for at least for a while, is going to be Bitcoin. It can be Ethereum, it can be a bunch of other stuff as well, but really it's that. And if I look at the chart, always start with the chart looks like it's going $1 million. And I just can't see it any other way. Now, how long does that take? Probably 5 years. Find me a single other asset that's going to give you 100x. asset. Not a share price, not a junior miner that's just that nobody. Find me an asset, an entire asset class that could be 100x. There isn't one. That's why the magnitude of opportunity with Bitcoin is like nothing I've ever seen before. And it's also that whole kind of vortex of people getting into this. They start with understanding a little bit, then they don't trust it, then they question themselves, then they don't know, then they start to learn. And once you learn, you realize the more and more and more you learn about it and the ecosystem, that it's basically blown your entire mind. And everyone becomes a complete groupie to it. And I've seen the greatest macro minds in the world, with the latest one being Paul Tudor Jones, who've gone, I get it. The opportunity set is bigger than anything else in the world.